Pythagoras Theorem problem set. So here's our first problem here. We have a right triangle and two sides. So we're going to need to find the missing side, which is x. That's going to be our variable. So you can see we got a little outlet here. So we know a equals 5, b equals 12, c equals x, and we need to find the variable x. So in this problem, I'm going to show you both ways of the theorem and how you're going to get the same exact answer. Now remember, this one's good to use if you have these two sides next to the 90-degree angle. If it's this one and this one, or this one and this one, that one's going to be a little bit harder to do. You don't even have to worry about doing that. Just do that one. Just do this equation for that problem. So let's start off. We're going to start with the easier one. And what you're going to do is you're just going to input the data. So a equals 5, b equals 12, and c is x. Alright, so you got the square roots. Now you just write down those values like that. Okay, then we got addition. So 169 equals x squared. Now, what do we do next? We got this squared. So what are we going to do about this x squared? If you remember in the last video, we talked about inverses. So let's write these down. Inverses. So we know like plus and minus, times and divide, square root, and x squared. Those are inverses to each other. So if you have a squared, you're going to need to use a square root. What you're going to do is you see, 69 equals x squared, and you're going to want to get rid of this x squared. Well, how do you do that? You look at the inverses, and you see here, the inverse of x squared is a square root. So you're going to square root 169 to get x. What's the square root of 169? 13 equals x. So you know here, c is x. We can make this 13. Boom. So let's try this using the other method. Remember, two sides next to the 90-degree angle, this one works best with. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to input the values. 5 squared plus 12 squared equals c, which we wrote was x, so we're just going to put x. So we do the same thing. 25 plus 144 equals x. That equals 169. And that equals 13. See, we get the same exact answer no matter which method that we used. So, I mean, here you used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here you used 4. This one is pretty universal. This one gets a little bit more complicated, so be aware of that. But that is how you solve the Pythagoras theorem for this problem.